if you're easily susceptible to that, yes, you're young, but then maybe you didn't have a core belief system to begin with.
Do the intro, dog.
I must do the intro. Oh, crazy. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Triumphant Strides. We're on episode 4. 4 weeks in, 1 month. If you've been here from the beginning, thank you. If this is your first episode, thank you still. Thank you for tuning in. We hope it can provide you with some value, some motivation, something, ignite something inside of you, that we have ignited in ourselves, and pass that torch on to the next person. So, before we begin, please subscribe, please like, please drop a comment, any suggestions that you want, and let's get right into the show, man.
Let's get into it. It's your boy AK.
Hey, you need to start great.
Okay, guys. Actually, while we're here, do you like that intro? I was playing around the first time. I didn't even mean that, and then it just kept happening. But it's your boy AK. Guys. So, bro.
Talk to me.
I actually had a question, and one thing that I've been asked a lot. So, for you guys that don't know, I'm also starting a business, and I can't say too much right now. Still. I think by episode 6, I'll actually be allowed to tell you guys what it is. But people ask me, how did you think of that? How did you get to that point? And I think it's a very valid question, because I think even myself, before that, I didn't even actually know that, here's what I want to do. I kind of just stumbled upon it from the things I was doing before, the steps I was taking to get to that. But I think a lot of people may be stuck with that potential, just knowing that they're capable of doing something, they're capable of pursuing something, they want to do something, but they don't know what or how to find something that's worth pursuing, because I think we all do have things we like, but it may not be worth pursuing in your goal. It doesn't align with your bigger picture, right? So how did you get to that point? How did you find what you're pursuing? How did you get there?
So I kind of just looked at it as a bigger picture, like you said, right? My purest passion, to the fullest extent, is becoming a serial entrepreneur. So my interest is, of course, achieving greatness, but by having my hands in multiple things. I can't say to you that I like music more than I like film, or I like film more than I like investing. All of that stuff interests me, and I want to be the best in all of that. Right. In terms of the company that I have now, well, at least let's just say this chapter. I own a digital marketing company, a SMMA, called WMS Digital Media. And branded. And the catalyst, or the thing that made me or pushed me to start that, was the bigger picture of being a serial entrepreneur, right? Because I'm interested in all of these different things, from what you're doing to what I'm doing to what our friends in Cape Town are doing. I'm interested in every single bit of it. I always find interest in the small things, and the big things as well. So for me, it was just understanding that to get to this bigger picture that we all have envisioned for ourselves, there's stepping stones that need to take place, right? We've spoken about this, don't set unrealistic goals of wanting to jump straight into having $1 million or whatever. It's small baby steps that you have to take to build up. And the company that I have right now is firstly interesting. It's an amazing, it's a crazy industry, right? If you do it right and if you do it correct. But it's going to help me get into the next thing that I want to have my hands in, and the next after that, and the next. So it's a lily pad. I'm just jumping across the pond, honestly.
No, I get that.
What about you, Madam?
I think, to be honest, I think, like you said, it's okay. Just to give you guys a hint, what I'm doing is smart vending, right? It's a smart vending company, and so beforehand, I didn't even know what smart vending was, and so I had no idea that I was even interested in that. And even when I found, you can do a vending company, I still wasn't sure. I'm not a vending guy. I'm not the vending machine guy, And I think for me, it was a matter of really just building myself up, and from there finding different interests. So the things we've spoken about before, like reading books and seeking information, seeking knowledge. So I think as I just set the foundation, or the baseline is for me to just learn, just learn about anything and everything that piques my interest. Then from there, I was able to put all those different things. So it became, I know what a vending machine is, but then I gained more knowledge about maybe a certain aspect, and now I gained more knowledge about IT, and then I was like, oh wait, but why can't I combine these things together, So I think if you're at the point where you're not too sure what it is you want to do or how to take, what's that first step from here to the bigger picture, I think just really knowledge is power, guys. I think I keep saying, knowledge is power, but I think for me personally, it was just a matter of, like I said in the previous episode, building up my software. Really just a matter of building up my software to the point where I'm like, oh, but now all these things can come together and create one big software that makes sense for the bigger goal. Yeah. I think.
So like, okay, is what you've discovered now, so you dropped a hint in terms of what it is.
Yeah.
Is vending the end goal, or IT? Is that the end goal? Is that like what you're going to be doing from here until the point, like the bigger picture? Or is it serial, similar to what I was saying about like serial entrepreneurship, as being an investor, doing other things, or is that the way that you're going?
I think it's the first step of it. So my bigger picture is also a serial entrepreneur, and I think really just being able to monetize the things that I enjoy, so whether that is I own businesses, I'm an investor, even an athlete, who knows, but I think just the bigger picture is being able to monetize those things that I have passion for, those things that I love. So I think same as yours, I know I'm going to be very successful, have a lot of money, but this is just one of the ways that I'm getting towards that. Because if the first step goes right, that opens the doors for whether it's investment after this, or whether it's another business, or this business is what takes me a step closer to maybe the fourth, fifth step, So this is not the end goal, but the starting step to that. Yeah.
That's actually very interesting, because for me, I always think about it like this, right? In terms of what you were saying as well, of pursuing that now and knowing that you'll be successful. Like that thing, or that thought that always is in your head of, I know I'm going to be successful, of course comes from the results of the hard work that you're doing, but it's also statistics, right? And I mean that in the sense that the younger you start, the more likely it is that you become successful, right? Like think about if you were in the headspace that you were in when you were 18, where do you think you'd be right now?
I think about it all the time, actually. I think about it all the time.
Like, where would you be?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I think right now, if not even pro, even if it was, okay, but I think, to be honest, like if I started developing the mindset that I have now, I probably could have been looking at, when I was 18, I could have been looking at my first M. Like, I don't want to be honest, I think I probably could be looking at, okay, I have a foundation set, I have a business or an idea that I'm pursuing, and I think at this point would already be making the money where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sort of covered now, I can see the money coming in. But I think even more than that, I think it would have actually excelled my journey even quicker, because now I would have not only I've started developing something at this age, but at this age now I would have 3-4 years of knowing that, 3-4 years of experience of meditation, 3-4 years of mastering myself, 3-4 years of habits, 3-4 years of discipline. And I think what hurts me the most, and I look at it with gym. We started gymming when we were 15, right? But along the journey, we can all see we've been inconsistent. But think about, had we stayed going to gym, even not together, but going to gym for that period, where you'd be now in terms of the results that you want in the gym. So I look at that all the time, and I'm like, it doesn't make me angry, because I'm upset that I didn't stay consistent, but it just proves that, if I just stay consistent, one day it'll be 4 years later. One day it'll be 4 years later, and I'll be saying, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Because the same thing with the gym. I've been inconsistent, and I thought, I'll just pick up. I've been, doing it on and off. And now it's 4 years, and I can see that 4 years ago I started, but I don't have the 4-year results. So, yeah.
It's crazy. And the thing that's messing me up the most about it is the 4 years, because I kind of touched on this in my 75 hard video that I made, which should be out the same time about this, so go check this out afterwards. But I was saying, like, if I've been gymming since I was 15 years old, right, and since then, with all the inconsistencies up until the point where I was 20, I didn't see significant results, right? Like, oh yeah, you'd see like a little muscle.
Yeah.
And if I completed way much more progress in 2.5 months than I did then it's like, yo, imagine if I started with this intensity and this seriousness back then, you know? But going back to the thing of you saying 4 years is, dude, 3 years ago, we were in high school.
Yeah.
Like, we always talk about this. Sure, maybe it's the COVID thing that also distorted time a bit, but bro, we were 18 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I vividly remember sitting in English next to Amor, like writing
Asking
down
for my yogurt.
Yeah. Like, that's like, I vividly remember that. Like, even outside of that, I vividly remember like spending my weekends with Amor, like us being kids, like minors, like children, and now we're here. And that was then, you know? And yeah, that's why I posed the question to you, because I also think about it a lot. Like, if I did all of the stuff that I'm doing now, I was the person that I was then, where would I be right now?
Where do you think you'd be?
Yo, I think very much the same as you. Definitely my first M made, finished, done and dusted. Very, very far, because yeah, I've come far, man.
Yeah.
Since starting this journey correctly, man. And if I implored that when I was way younger then. And I think that's actually a really nice message to send out to the audiences, like you guys watching, is that no matter how old you are, whether you're 18, whether you're 17, like, understand that even a year, let's put it in a year's context, you need to always think to yourself, what position do I want to be in a year from now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's August now, August 2023. After you watch this video, question yourself and say, where do I want to be in August of 2024?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you will be baffled. If you can make it to that point, you'll look back at this August and be like, yo, I can't believe I did that, bro. You know, it's crazy stuff to think about.
And that actually leads me to a question, right? So you speak about where we were back in high school as these kids, and if you had implemented the mindset and the person you are now back then, what do you think has been the biggest change with Willie from back then to who you are now? The most major changes that you've implemented, that you've seen?
I think it starts with behaviors. It really does. It starts with behavior and mentality. That those are the two key things. Like, being 18, and this is not a bad thing. I think that's just a part of the cycles of life. But when you're 18, bro, you think you know. Even right now, we probably think you're on our shit right now. But we'll be looking back again in another 4 years, like, yo, you were just 21-year-olds. But I feel like 3 years is enough time to look back and be like, yo, we were kids, bro. That's all that we were. Like, we didn't think bigger than ourselves. We didn't think bigger than that weekend, and you know what girl was gonna be where, or what event was happening this weekend, or you know, just not stupid things, but things that don't matter now. You know,
in the bigger picture.
Yeah, in the bigger picture. You know, also the bigger picture didn't really exist back then, right? Like, it wasn't a thing. And yeah, just mindset in terms of my drive. Like, if I had the drive that I have now, if I had the discipline that I had now, dude, I would have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
Sure.
And I mean that.
So
I mean that for real. Like, I would have been top academics. I would have been one of the best versions of myself at an early age. And that's why I think it's commendable to those people, you know, that achieved those things in high school, bro. But we're out of there now. Not to say that it didn't happen, but it's the next step to prove. But anyways, yeah, that's probably the biggest change. I mean, of course, physically, there are changes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the most important ones that hit my soul, that resonate with me is, it's those two. Mindset and behavior, bro.
Important.
Let me lay it on me. What's yours?
Yeah, I think obviously those two are, but I think those happened as a result of, which was my biggest, and that is knowing myself, learning myself. And I say that because I think for most of high school, I never spent time to learn who I am, or what I really like. We're talking about how it's so easy for us to adopt other people's thinking, other people's views, right? That I think I was an Amo that not people wanted me to be, but that I thought people wanted me to be. So I was existing as, I need to be a certain type of way. I need to be known by everyone. I need to be liked by everyone. I need to be seen by everyone. So I think everything that I was doing, even for example, gym, it may be maybe a positive thing that I took on, but did I start gymming for my own personal gain because I wanted to, or what the girls think? Is that English? The girls think I was gonna look. the girls think I was gonna look good? Did the boys think I was gonna be more of a if I went to gym? Like, did I really do it for myself? So I think the biggest thing for me really was if I could have learned how to be myself, who I really was, align myself with, because even if I didn't have a bigger picture then, I think just staying true to what I believe, what my true beliefs are, not my the beliefs I've taken on, but what my true beliefs are, that my actions were going to align with myself. And because I don't think I changed as a person, I think I've now become more in tune with the person that I am.
More true to yourself.
So I think had I just learned to really be comfortable and not secure, but confident in myself, really believe in Amo as a person, and learn who that is, then my actions would have done the same. So I think really that's the biggest thing that I've had to not change, but take and learn from that. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting. Like, so now I'm gonna pose the question again to you. Is what beliefs do you think that you had when you were 18 that you still have now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're saying instead of adopting beliefs from other people and staying true to my beliefs, do you think that your beliefs were the most beneficial, or like that they even mattered at the age of 18? Because it's like you say, you're faced with so many, the dumbest pressures. Like, as in, you need to talk a certain way because everybody else is talking a certain way, you know, if you want to be seen, if you're that type of person. So it's like, if, of course, maybe if you're easily susceptible to that, yes, you're young, but then maybe you didn't have a core belief system to begin with for you to adopt one so easily. Or maybe it's being young. Maybe I'm being facetious. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a dickhead. But like, do you think you had like a core beliefs that maybe you know, like emanated when you were with yourself? You know, like what's the situation?
I think
at 18, by the way, 17, 18,
at 18,
16 to 18, let's say
16 to
10
18.
to 12. Okay, 10 to 12.
I think part of that is true. I didn't have any core beliefs, you know, that I think I was relying on, that I was using as guidance. So I think it did make me more malleable to other people's, you know, beliefs and outside views. But I think the biggest, I don't think that they were beneficial to me as a person. I think in the context of those years, grade 10 to 12, what I thought was important, what I thought mattered, I guess maybe that helped me in that way. An example, so if I thought that in that time being popular or being good looking, you know, being seen as attractive was what was important, then I guess going to gym and doing those things were beneficial to that. But in the greater scheme of things, looking back at, but the foundation of that value or that belief is that I want to be seen as this, it still wasn't aligning to my goal, because that then comes out of that into, say, real life, where first year, as much as it led to me going to gym, the foundation of that is still I want to be seen that type of way. So now going into my adult life, out of that, the principles and things I do are still based on I want people to see me like this, you know. So I think I think that was actually the biggest downfall in beliefs that I had through that period, just caring so much about outside opinion, about outside views, you know. I think the person that I created, even the way I acted to a certain degree, was but this is what they're gonna like, this is what's gonna resonate with people, not so much this is who I am, you know. And I think I've realized as I've gotten older, like going out as an example, I used to go out so much, and
you used to go out a lot.
Yeah, you know, so much, and
like
to some degree, yes. Like most of the time, it was fun. I just wanted to, but there were times where I'm like, but what's gonna happen if I don't go? Are they gonna, you know? And I was thinking again, I'm going out not for myself, it's not for fun now. It's people have to see me there. So I think that's the one thing that I had to unlearn in order for me to really become who I am now and be true to myself. I think that's the one belief, just what people think about me.
I think it all just comes down, like, to tie it all up, is it came down to like gratification, right? And I think that's also the main thing that comes with being young, is like, or being younger, maybe even some people still now, I don't know, I'm just talking to like our examples of like experiencing that at a younger age and being conscious of it now, like in our adult lives, is gratification, bro. You know, like it felt nice, like when you were out at a place and you know the girl that everybody's like, yo, that girl is so beautiful,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh my god, I know who you are because of this, and this, you know. But I think for me, like I don't think I ever bended, you know, like no. I don't think I ever bended who I was, but that's because I didn't have a strong core of beliefs as an 18-year-old. You know what I mean? So the person that I was just the person that I was, but there was no core belief behind that person. You know? Yeah, man. High school was just weird. High school was just weird, but it's a very
you live and you learn.
You live and you learn.
Really,
Yeah,
that's the
you
most
live and you
important
learn.
thing. Like learning, as long as you learn from it, there's no L. You know. So yeah, and so with that, actually, what we say, the next question I had, and I think this may be difficult to answer. But obviously, especially as young entrepreneurs and young people who are chasing something, pursuing something, there's a point along the journey where you face imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And yeah, I think I'll even let you define it for what it is for you, but what is imposter syndrome to you, and how do you, if you can, overcome that?
Yo. Dude, hold on, it's a normal Wednesday. What's going on? No, look, imposter syndrome now, the way that I define it and the way that it gets to me is it's a form of anxiety. I think I actually even sent this message on our mastermind group maybe like a couple weeks back. Yeah, and bro, imposter syndrome is basically, like I said, a form of anxiety that causes you to believe that you shouldn't be in a situation, or you shouldn't be in a situation, you're not good enough to be in that situation, or you are not meant to be in that situation, right? So that can be in anything. That can be in a social setting. That can be with regards to business. I'll say in the business context, because that's what we're like referring to. But you know, an example of that way that can come out to make it more understandable is if me as somebody who has an agency is talking to a client, and while I'm talking to this client and I'm pitching this client about how we'd run their campaigns, what the best way to go about it was, what channels we would use for them, etc., you know, then immediately, like, I'd be like, wait, am I selling this person dreams? Am I lying to this person? Like, I just told this guy that I'd be able to do A, B, and C for him. Am I capable of doing that? How am I going to do that?
Sure.
And it's an anxiety spiral. That's basically what it is. In terms of how you overcome it, I think when you retire, when you're out of the industry completely of what you're doing, because think about it, imposter syndrome always comes at a time where no stress. It always comes at a time where you're leveling up, or where you're about to pivot or scale up into a new situation, right? So you can become comfortable, right? Or you'll have imposter syndrome, become comfortable, and when it's time to ramp up again, and you're scaling up and facing more hectic challenges, or you know, talking to a more high-level client, then it's like, okay, I've never dealt with this before. Am I capable of doing this? And it carries on, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle, you know. So, in terms of overcoming it, you just, and Tibedi always says this, is Tibedi, by the way, is one of our friends in our mastermind group. He always says, like, you need to be an absolute dog in what you do. You need to be amazing at what you do. You always need to be learning and understanding what's going on in your industry, what's going on in, you know, that person's industry that's approaching you, for you to be like, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to ensure that I know what I'm talking about and that you believe in me when I'm talking about that stuff. But you always have the feeling of being anxious when it comes to facing that challenge for the first time. You know?
No, I like that. I think I like that, especially what you're saying about you probably face it when you're about to encounter that next level, that new step. And I think as well with adopting a new habit or a new challenge, because for you, and I keep going back to gym, but when you first get into the gym, there's that thing of, okay, I'm now a person that gyms. But if this is your first session or your first few sessions, internally you don't believe that I'm a person that gyms. You still believe that I could just flake like I have before. I could not do it consistently. I could, all these things that make you feel like, but I don't deserve the title of a person that gyms. Even though you going into the gym that day, if I ask you, you can say I gym, but you find it difficult to take on that title. And I think the same. And I think what I do is, again, coming back to knowing yourself, sitting with yourself and understanding the power within. But one thing that I do, because it happens, especially like you said, when I'm about to scale. So I've been in this stage of my business, developing this thing and now it's time to implement it. I'm like, okay, whoa. I'm not a person that
Like,
implements.
yeah.
I've been working on it.
Yep,
I've been designing.
yep, yep.
But, or for example, my business now, I've been starting a business for the past year now. But I'm about to get to the stage where I run a business. You know, that is the next step. It's very different. And for me to say I'm a business owner, because I haven't been saying I'm a business owner, for me to do that, I think one thing I practice is when I'm meditating, just really thinking about what that thing is, and just say I am. Just keep repeating to yourself, I am, because it really is that you will get to the point where you doubt yourself. Like, say for example, you're studying medicine. Cool, now you've studied medicine, but are you ready to say I'm a doctor? Like, are you ready to take on the title of doctor? You're probably going to face an imposter syndrome. I've been training to run this track. Am I an athlete? Like, am I calling myself an athlete? You know, so really just sit down and face that title on, or that next level on, head on, and say, I am, I can, I can. And I think you're right. Like, it doesn't really stop up until the end.
Yeah, it's when you're out of your job. Like, I think the best part about it as well is you kind of need to understand that if you're in the position where you're about to implement something there, that means that you've done the work to get there. Like, you don't just get to a point of walking or you wake up in the gym. No, like, you mentally prep yourself to be like, yo, I'm going to the gym. Like, that's commendable. You need to give yourself credit where credit is due. Like, even starting a business, doing the research and being at a point where you are saying you're a business owner, that doesn't just happen. You know, you have to do work, and you've done that work. So for you to be in a position where you're, like we said, in terms of it comes up in the scaling. So for you to be in a position where you're about to scale up and enter a new level, that's work that you did lead up to this. So you need to understand that you doing that work is the reason why you're there. It's not easy, of course, right? But that's what it is. That's what you need to sit with and understand, man.
No, I like that. I really like that. Okay. So now another question that I've had, and I think I still not struggle, but something I've thought about, but mentorship. So I've had, and this is also why I think we're making this podcast, why we speak the things we do to everyone. We try to invite everyone to speak, because I've had a lot of younger people as well. So, you know, guys still in high school that come up to me and tell me like they appreciate what we're doing. We're helping out here. We've helped them with one or two things, and they sort of see me as a mentor, right? And I've also been, it's heavy.
What? Yo.
Yeah.
You guys.
I think obviously it is a lot, you know, because I never want to misguide anyone, mislead anyone, and I don't take the responsibility of, I'm responsible for. But I think it would be wrong for me to learn as much as I do, acquire as much as I do, and not share it, and not try to help someone not make the mistakes that I made, you know, to try and give a helping hand where I can. So I think I've always taken on that big brother role. So like, I just see it as that, you know, I see it as just me being a big brother to anyone that needs help. But it led me to think now, because I personally don't have my own mentor. I have people that I look up to, people that I learn from, but I don't think that I see as a mentor. And I've been not actively looking, but, you know, have gone through periods where I was looking for someone that could help me, could be my mentor to me. So do you have a mentor? Do you think they've helped you? Just speak about that.
Yeah, bro. Same situation as you. I don't have an active mentor, somebody who like I can turn to and be like, hey, you know, new contract with the client, does this clause apply to this industry? Am I allowed to do this? I don't have somebody to do that, you know, go to in terms of that. I don't have somebody to, I feel down bad, you know, like we have the mastermind group, but that's not mentorship. That's more like community, right? But I don't have an older or a bigger figure, you know, somebody who's walked my path, who's telling me like, do this, don't do that. I'm not gonna give you advice. They figure it out on your own. I don't have that. My only mentor is probably myself.
Real.
Genuinely is probably myself, dude. Like, I'm the one that conditions my brain. Okay, obviously the people, the podcasts and stuff are the ones, but I'm the one that takes the action to condition my brain, you know. But I have people that I look up to, like I say, similar to you, bro. The person, and if you know me, you know exactly who this person is. He's a specific light-skinned musician, that sings about God's plan and all of that.
Oh,
Mr. Aubrey Drake Graham. That's probably my mentor by extension. You know, reasons being, and I also want to know like your reasons for the person that you look up to. Of course, my father as well.
Yeah.
But that's like default. Like that's my dad. Dude, he's just when you sit and you look at somebody and you understand their greatness, you understand like where they started as in 2009 to 2003, and you compare those two different people, and then you compare and then you consider the work that they did to get there in between that time. You can't not be even if you don't like him as an artist, you can't not be in awe of what this guy has done. You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. And many times when I'm listening to his music, obviously not to the same degrees or the same levels, but when he says something or when he's talking about a situation he's been in, most times I feel it. I'm like either going through that right now or it has happened, you know, or I feel like it will. Yeah, that's my mentor. It's Drake. Shout out Aubrey, Champagne Poppy, dude. Dialed in, straight up from the 6th. The 6th gone. I could go on about this forever.
Before I give mine, right, I think I actually like that because I think when people think of mentorship, we often think it has to be someone we know personally, you know, someone that we can speak to, that we can text every day.
I'm leaving this in. Guys, my phone is ringing. I'm sorry.
Dog.
Dude, there's too many cards. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Go.
Okay.
Go. I'm sorry, go.
People think it's someone that they have to know personally, right? They can head up every day. But I think we live in such an amazing time where, same thing with knowledge, we can just go on your phone and you can find someone that believes all the things that align with you. You can find someone who has the right message for you, so you can find these different mentors or this one mentor online. Someone, like you said, you can be Drake. They don't have to know you personally, but they really genuinely help and guide you in the direction that you need to be going. So I think that's one important thing as well.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
And
I just add one more thing before you go on? And I think to do that though, you need to be an individual who takes action, because it's not just going to come to you. You need to be in a position where you're seeking out those things, or where those things are coming towards you. Right? Owning a business, you're going to feel, okay, I don't have motivation. And when you need motivation, you're going to search motivational quotes and then spiral and then da-da-da-da. So I think it comes with action. That's true. So, that's true. Yeah.
And I think for me, my mentor.
I know who it is.
You know who it is.
California Breeze.
It's Lil Baby.
Shout out.
Dominique. See Dominique.
Absolute animal.
But I think as much as Drake is actually also up there, right? One of the people that, like, music aside, I really just look at, there was a time when this guy was here at the bus cut. He was so skinny, really light skin,
On some TV show.
But I think looking at Lil Baby, the thing that really does it for me, he is a dog. Lil Baby is a dog. And, I'm not going to say what it is he does, but he even says all the time in his songs that even without the music thing, I was going to make it. I already made it before the music, and I think the thing for me with Lil Baby is, yeah, cool, I can make it this way, but if that doesn't work, I'm going to make sure I'm good. I need to make sure. And that just shows that it's not the vehicle that you use to get there. It's you, dog. Like, you can take the music way, you can take Lil Baby way, you can do whatever. But as long as you inside as a person are destined for that, you know that I'm destined for that, I'm going to work for it. No matter what I'm working towards, I'm going to become that person. Yeah. And Lil Baby just embodies that. And I think through his music, you can hear, like, this is not a person that was born rich and just is joking about making it. Yeah.
Watch these dog. 4
times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think that's it for me. I really just love that, I'm going to make it regardless.
And I was about to say, that's also the thing that I'd say maybe Lil Baby top 3 as well. After, I don't know who else would be there. But it may, if not number 3, is number 2, is exactly that. Like, of course, the subject matter in his music is a bit like controversial, right? Not for me, just for other people. I bang Baby every day, so I don't care. But like, when he even says bars and stuff where he says to, like, I'm talking to, like, this is the context, I'm talking to, like, my youngers, I'm talking to the people below me, and I'm telling them that you can't always come to me. Like, you need to work with what you got, make a plan and work with what you have and build up from there. You know what I mean? Like, those small little anecdotes, disregarding the other things, are the reasons, even with Drake, are the reasons there isn't it, right? Because like it's like you're saying it yourself, like you need to work with what you have to make it, regardless you are going to make it. Like for me, and I told you this before, you said it to me too, is that there's literally no reality, like where I don't make it. Like
I've never thought about
not making it. You know what I mean? Like it's always there, but again, we always preach this. It comes with action, because anytime there's no action involved, you're just delusional. Sorry, but you are.
Yeah.
If you're saying like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it, but you're not doing anything to that.
Yeah.
Makes you're crazy. Yeah. Be for real. But yeah, there's no like we it's gonna happen.
We have to. I think there's even a cousin. Jeez, I'm so tired.
Oh, no, sorry. It's a long week. It's a very long week.
A conversation I had with my cousin, and it was when things were just not working out business-wise, right? I had no idea how I was gonna make something happen, like no idea at all. And it was 2 days before it had to happen. And I have a team who, they, according to them, this was gonna happen. And I was like, okay, I can either go to them now and tell them, guys, I don't think this is gonna happen, or I can keep a smile on my face, act like things are fine, and make it happen.
And doing a business owner.
Yeah. And I chose the latter, and you know what? I made it happen, right? And on the call, my cousin asked me, like, what made you not want to stop? And I was like, oh, I forgot that's an option. Like, a genuine, not even like I was.
Okay, holy.
Like, even he had the same reaction. He's like, yo, okay. I was like, no, bro, like, I'm not even trying to be like,
no. That shit is so cold. No, I need to stand up. What?
wait, don't gas me.
Finish, my bad.
And that's, I think, for me, what really allows me to know that I'm made for this, because not on no joke thing, not trying to be, I almost woke, genuinely throughout that entire situation, throughout the entire predicament, when the first time that he asked me, why didn't you think of stopping, was the first time stopping came to my mind. I forgot completely that that's an option that I have. I just knew that I have things to get done. They were gonna get, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I just knew that it had to get done. That is, you know what I'm saying? So there's no reality where because why would I stop? Like, what is stop? Yeah.
That, I think that's one of the constants. If the multiverse exists, that's the canon events. If you watch Spider-Man, like that's like one of the constants that exists. If the multiverse exists, every version of myself is successful.
Has to be.
It just is. Like, that's how strongly I feel about it. That's how, like, like, you forget that stopping is an option. Like I can't remember the last time I sat back and I said, oh yeah, well, I'm just gonna not do that. You know, like I'm just gonna stop. Yes, 100%. Like, I'm thinking there pretty much weekly. Like, yo, this shit is hard. This shit is difficult. Like, this shit is terrible. Like, I'm down bad right now. I'm stressed 100%. But it's never. But I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Okay. And just to close us off,
For sure.
Doesn't have to be long. We'll actually make this the intro of the next one, but. That's my broken finger as well, you know.
Seriously? Oh, that is not funny. I'm sorry.
What is your biggest lesson? What has been your biggest lesson up to this point so far in your journey? Fuck.
Yo, biggest. I'm so sorry about your hand.
Nah, don't worry.
I'm gonna just hit his fractured finger.
I broke my finger. Now I just
on
hit
the
it
corner
against
of
the
the table.
table. Sure.
Biggest. So one.
Yeah, just one.
Shit, nigga.
Just close it off.
You are kidding me here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to fit all of them into one.
Okay.
I'm gonna try my best. Don't be afraid, to move forward. And don't. No. Here we go. You won't be able to move forward, if you have too much fear of leaving the space that you're in and forgetting about the past. That's probably the biggest lesson. Like, I'm not even explaining. Take it how you will.
I like that.
Yeah.
My biggest lesson?
Hit me.
Start.
Oh, full stop.
Yeah.
End of day.
Start.
Yo, almost been cooking. I don't know what this guy's on. Hey, yo. No, real though.
Yeah.
Real.
Genuinely.
Dude.
At any time when I've learned something, it's start.
For real. I love that.
Yo, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. This one was a bit messy. Yo, this one was a bit...
Nah, the cuts will be clean. The cuts will be clean. But
You
yeah,
said even the other one. But anyway, yo, guys, thank you for being here. Please like, comment, subscribe, especially the comment. Let us know what you guys like, what you want to hear more of, what you guys think. And yeah, please subscribe as well.
Yeah, and check out my 75 hard video.
Yeah, on his channel over here. I don't think he's going to add it here.
And the link, it'll be in the description.
Alright, thanks guys. Yeah.